So in this video, I'm gonna break down what to look for when you're analyzing your own trap bar deadlift, to look in terms of, step by step, whether or not you're getting all of the performance cues to get the absolute most out of the lift. So the first thing is gonna be your setup. So at the bottom position, you should have a nearly vertical shin. When you're doing a trap bar deadlift, part of the reason we're doing the trap bar is because it allows you a little bit more flexibility. So letting the knees drift over the toes a little bit is okay. As long as you're getting more hip movement, so in other words, you've got more flexion through here, through the hips than you do through the knees, you're okay. So you can be slightly more upright or slightly more bent over. Again, as long as you're feeling mostly the legs doing the work and you're not arching your back a ton to try to stay in this really upright position. So generally speaking, you're still gonna have more hip flexion than knee flexion, okay? So that's your setup. The next thing is gonna be your spinal position. So from your ear to your hip, you wanna be in a straight line. You don't want your eyes looking up towards the ceiling with a ton of extension through your cervical spine. You also don't want to be rounded at all in this bottom position in any part of your spine, whether that's your lumbar spine, your upper back, or your head. So you shouldn't be looking at the floor. You should just generally be gazing a little bit out in front of you. So you've got maybe a little bit of extension through that upper neck area, but you're not super extended. You're also not rounded, okay? The only place you might see a little bit of flexion is through your mid back. Now that's okay. So when you're here, you're gonna take a nice big deep breath in. When you do that, you should feel that air coming to your upper back. When that happens, you might be a little bit rounded. That's okay. Again, as long as you're nice and in a straight line through your lower body and generally in from your ear to your hips, that's okay. So you're here, straight line, big deep breath in. And then the next thing you want to look through for are the shoulders moving down toward the hips. When this happens, that means you're engaging the lats. You're going to get a lot of tension through here. And now you've got full body tension. The last thing to look for is the position of the body overall. So you notice here, I'm really, really forward. So if you were to draw a straight line from the ankles up, my center of gravity would be really, really forward. And on the other side, if I was really far back like this, I'd be just about to tip over backwards if I didn't have the weight in my hands. You want to be right in the middle, okay? So to get there, you're gonna reach forward with the hands, back with the hips, straight line, ear to hips, big deep breath in, and then I pull the shoulders down. Now I've got lots of tension. I'm in a really good position to come off the floor. So the first thing when I come up, you notice how it's nice and smooth. There's no sudden jerk where I'm shock loading my body with all that tension. Instead, I've taken a deep breath in, pulled the shoulders down, and then you want to think of starting to push your feet through the floor. And as you do that, you'll gradually feel the load of whatever is on the bar go into your body. That allows you to be nice and smooth off the floor and not have a sudden jerk, okay? And then as you perform the movement, the main thing that should be happening is your hips are coming straight forward. What you don't want to do is have your shoulders flying backwards, okay? So if you think of pulling with your shoulders, you'll feel your back light up, and what you'll see as you come up is your shoulders will end up behind your back, or even if they're in line, you'll have this huge arch in your back, and this is where you'll feel all the tension. If you think of pushing your feet through the floor and driving your hips forward, you'll feel your legs and your hips do all the work. And at the top, you'll be in a straight line, ear, shoulder, hips, knees, and ankles. Straight line without any big arch in your back. So again, you're here, big deep breath in, shoulders down towards the hips, push through the floor, finish at the top in a straight line. When you come down, same thing. You're keeping that engagement the whole time. So as you move back with the hips, the bar does not slide forward. Instead, it stays right in line with your center of gravity. So if you were to draw a straight line from the side, the bar path would be straight up and down. If you lose engagement here, then as your hips come back, you'll see the bar slide forward. You'll be making this round movement, which you don't want to have with the bar path. It should be straight up and down. And again, you're going to get that by engaging those shoulders, pulling them down towards the hips, feeling the lats light up. So a good rep looks like this.